What's good, everybody? Quinto Harcum here, entrepreneur, founder of Good Part & Company. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my story and how I made the transition to a plant-based diet, how I did it, how it serves me, and how it's helped me become a better entrepreneur. So I decided to make the transition to a plant-based diet in 2011. But my story starts a little bit before that, going back 10 years, maybe more, to my college days, where I was kind of phasing things out, working my way up to what eventually became plant-based transition. So in college, I went to school where it was a large Muslim demographic. So they had the option to not have like pork for a lot of different, food offerings. And so that kind of helped me phase out pork because I didn't eat a lot of it other than a little bacon here, some ham. I was always selective about what kind of cuts of meat I ate, right? So that just made it easy. I didn't eat a whole lot of beef, but a few cheesesteaks here and there. I always prefer lighter on the animal side. So that part of the transition was easy, but you got to figure out what to do as time goes by. But after I graduated college in about 2005 or so, I was at a cookout, me and my homies. We crashed the cookout. We there chilling, doing our thing. And of course, you got the burgers on the grill. You had a black cookout. They're going to have the barbecue meatballs or the Swedish meatballs or whatever the case may be. But I remember not feeling that great after that cookout. And I was like, man, I don't know what it is, but I think it has something to do with the last thing I ate, which was the Swedish meatball situation and the burgers. So from then on, I never liked McDonald's hamburgers and stuff. I don't really only like Burger King here and there, but I was never really big on it, unless it was like maybe at a cookout and whatever. It made it easy for me to just go ahead and give up red meat. So I never really had lamb. So I'm out on red meat. I'm out on pork. I'm down to poultry and fish. I don't really eat a lot of shellfish. Not a big fan of crabs. Not really into like oysters and stuff like that. So I keep it simple: salmon, steak fish, halibut, things like that, right? So I'm rocking with that. I'm really cool on that part of my diet. I'm not claiming pescatarian and this and that. I just know I eat on the lighter side. But 2006, my dad passed away. He had a heart attack while driving, and he wasn't able to recover from the injuries during the accident. After the accident is when I found out that my dad had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and he and his wife were already working on it. She was already, helping him out with his diet. He wasn't a big guy. You can see him. I'm not a big guy. He wasn't like overweight or anything like that. But he did kind of, life was kind of stressful for my dad sometimes. So he did delivery for auto parts and things like that. So he was driving, and that's when he had the heart attack. And so once I heard that, a lot of times when you go get checkups at the doctor, they ask you about your family history. And so on my mom's side, my mom's a cancer survivor, 21 years and plus, major blessings for that. And then on my dad's side with the high blood pressure and cholesterol. So when that happened with my dad, combined with what happened with my mom, she was already, years into remission. But it just made me become more health conscious, especially from my dad, because I don't know if it's hereditary specifically for gender or male, but I just wanted to be on top of it. And so that was in the back of my mind, and I didn't really realize until I looked back and thought that was a major trigger into making me become more health conscious and going plant-based. So that happened with my dad in 2006. And so I remember talking to one of my homies at this time. Me and a group of my friends, we had the same jumping in Baltimore. We had like the best nightlife events, party promotion group in the city, right? It was a whole legit business. We was coordinating happy hours and all types of cool stuff. So we was running around doing our thing. Well, I mean, that's what you do in your 20s, but it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And I was talking to my man, and I was like, yeah, yo, I think I'm going vegetarian in about 5 years. And he was like, damn, yo, that's what's up, okay, cool. But it just seems like it's not something that young people talk about, especially back then, to be like 5 years ahead of time, like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I knew that's what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it or when it was going to go down exactly. But I knew that was the path for me. I kind of felt like that was it, especially knowing what happened, my family health history. Fast forward to 2011, my girlfriend and I, she was having difficulties around her diet. She didn't know what to eat. She saw some flick or some kind of clip where, how they process chickens before you eat it and stuff like that. And I don't want to be so super graphic, but you've seen it before, how they harvest chickens at the farms and, whatever. So that kind of rattled her on eating chicken. She already gave up red meat and stuff like that. So, fellas, you probably been here. She never knew what she wanted to eat. Combine that with being kind of like spooked about eating chicken. She definitely didn't know what she wanted to eat. So I was like, hey, since you don't want to eat that, we both don't eat this already. Let's just take the leap and become vegetarian, plant-based, and figure this thing out together. And that's super critical and very, very helpful. If you decide to go plant-based, it's helpful to either join a community of people that's already doing it, or have somebody with you that's doing it, so that you can have somebody to share the experience with you, somebody who kind of understands the struggle, navigating this thing with you. You can share recipes. You can, go. You got somebody to go, a buddy to eat with, and stuff like that. So that's what we decided. Like after my birthday, because we was gonna go travel, I went to the Watch the Throne tour. Like I'm really taking it back here, but I went to see the opening of the Watch the Throne tour. When I got back home, we did a fast, we did a cleanse, and then it was on and popping ever since then. And it wasn't easy, right? Every once in a while we still have salmon. We didn't know what else to eat really. And sometimes we still have cheese. Like she's a big fan of cheese and wine and different types of cheeses. I kept it basic, but for the most part, 90% of our diet was fruits, veggies, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds, right? Except for the salmon here and there, a little bit of cheese on pizza. That was really it. So we can technically just say, it was plant-based ever since then. And I've been rocking with it since then. And so as time went on, another thing that really helped and inspired me to make that happen was Russell Simmons. So this is before all of the things was going down, all the allegations and stuff, but he was on a radio show doing an interview about his book on meditation at the time. But of course, he's going to be out here advocating for his yoga and veganism and all of that good stuff. And so I'm just listening to it, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of digging this. Russell Simmons is a shining example of this. I'm saying? He out here looking young, he thriving. He's going to be out here running around with the models, right? But his skin clear, he healthy, he focused, he vibrant. You see, he flexible, doing this thing. And I'm like, man, I may not necessarily resonate with the veganism part, because this choice for me is about health. Veganism is an ethical choice to not, use anything made by animals or animal byproducts. And so I'm not totally there yet. I'm more empathetic towards animal life, but I got leather jackets. You know what I'm saying? I got these leather sneakers. I had a clothing line. I was designing leather jackets. I'm not giving up my jacket. I don't feel the need to. I may not buy new ones, but I'm not giving this one up. So I can't call myself vegan. But the diet part, I was rocking with, and I was like, you know what? I like Russell. I'm into the hip hop culture. I'm here for Def Jam. Fat Farm, my man was doing this thing. That soul, he got paid. Run DMC, all up. I was there for all of it. And I was like, you know what? Russell Simmons makes this look cool. I connect to Russell's story, and he make me feel like I can do this without sacrificing my cool and still just be a cool guy that just eat plant-based and do my thing. And so that was like, that kind of put the battery on my back. Just let me know, like, yeah, I can do this, right? So 2011, my girlfriend and I at the time, we make the transition to vegetarian / plant-based, whatever you want to call it. As time goes on, I'm still doing my little thing on my own with these events and stuff like that. And then I'm in these brunch parties, and I'm getting a lot of questions around like what I eat, which is a good question because I can't really eat much that's on the menu. At these places aren't like vegan brunch spots. It's just a brunch spot. The only thing I can eat is a bowl of fruit and fried potatoes. Everything else I can't really touch. So I get a lot of questions about what I eat at this place, or just what I eat in general, what my diet is, because a lot of the guests there, they know me in real life. So they was asking me like, what's up with it? At the time, Snapchat was popping. So like, I would post my little smoothies and my NutriBullet or whatever, and folks would ask me a lot of questions like, yo, send me some recipes and this and that. And I'm like, there may be a business opportunity there. I know this is a real thing. So, I'm gonna keep that into consideration. But while I was at one of the brunch parties and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, change my diet, because I wanted to improve my diet so I can improve my energy and get back to doing business at the level my friends and I was doing. And since I'm not partnered with my homies, I gotta turn it up even more. So that's why I really was leaning into the plant-based diet, right? I wanted to just like stay fit, stay kind of trim, and just get my energy up, like how my man Russell Simmons was, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm at this brunch party. I can't even eat anything here. This lifestyle don't really support what I want to be in the future. And so I was like, you know what? Good Partner Company, Health Cafe, and Juice Bar. And that's a part, all that is a part of my plant-based journey. But really, I just made the decision because I wanted to just have more energy, stay on top of my health, avoid getting high cholesterol. But there's no great transformation story for me. Like, I wasn't overweight, I wasn't obese or anything like that, and I didn't have a personal health scare. I was just fortunate enough to learn from others, mistakes or misfortunes and things like that. So that really, motivated me. Is multiple factors that's all come together that kind of motivated me and pushed me into a plant-based diet. And I enjoy it. Like it comes natural for me. I'm into the things that I'm into, and I kind of just don't think it's boring. I can eat the same thing over and over. So that's going to be key for you to succeed in life with anything. Like, you got to do the small boring things, and you got to do it and over again. And so I don't know why people think that people eat the same thing no matter what, whether you're plant-based or not. People are going to eat the same dishes. They're going to go back to the same favorites or the same base to the meal. So I don't know why people turn their nose up to plant-based when they eat the same things. Like, everybody eats the same thing over and over. Everybody has their preferences. So that just comes with being plant-based. But that's kind of how my story went. And, I'm still in there. It's a lifestyle change. People ask, like, yeah, so do you miss them? Like, when I first transitioned, I missed buffalo wings. That was it. I mean, now I can just get cauliflower bites or whatever the case may be. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Plus, I'm focused on the future. Like, I'm trying to win today and tomorrow. Like, I'm not thinking about what I missed from before. Like, I made the decision for a reason. So I don't really regret going plant-based. I do know that around 2016, 17, I was like, I want to get even better at this. I want to improve my diet even more, learn more about how to use plant foods as medicine. And in 2018, I started studying and became a certified holistic nutritionist. And that's what really rolled into, I wanted to get certified. So that's what I did. And this helped me a lot more along the way, because I can it keep me more in tune with my body. And then I can find more holistic remedies for, say I have a headache, or, I'm feeling a bit inflamed. I can immediately tell if I eat something that makes me feel a certain way. I might know how to just, fast a little bit better, what things improve my energy, what things kind of weigh me down. So being more cognizant of your diet will help you become more aware of how your body operates. I do think being plant-based optimizes your body for like better functionality, just period. Like, your body can just do the things it needs to do because it doesn't have to work so hard to digest food and work out, a whole lot of toxins. It doesn't mean that there aren't any toxins in plant-based foods, but it's a little less than a lot of animal-based products. But my journey's still going, man. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring out how many carbs to eat, but even better sources of proteins. They offer all of these new processed things, and like, I don't think all of them are bad, but just too much processed food, whether it's plant-based or not, isn't great for you. A lot of these meal prep services, they are introducing a lot more plant-based and vegan options and stuff like that. So I think that that's great. Being plant-based, managing a plant-based lifestyle is a lot easier today than it was 2023, than it was 12 years ago when I first started. So my journey still continues. I did it because I wanted to make sure I had better health, improve my energy. And with that energy, it gave me more clarity of thought, more just revitalized me, got me focused on my business, and had my mind and body able to endure whatever it took for me to get my business up and running and open my first brick and mortar, and eventually get my partnership at Johns Hopkins with Goodpart & Company. So, I can say that it doesn't seem like a direct correlation, but it's absolutely a direct straight line from me going plant-based, becoming a certified holistic nutritionist. That lends all the credibility to me actually working in health and wellness, whether it be through coaching, which I do now sometimes, or having Goodpart & Company. So I'm really grateful for all of the factors that contributed to me going plant-based. And people ask, like, am I going to go back? Like, no, I'm not going back. I don't need to. Technology has advanced the world far enough to where I don't need to eat animal-based products. But again, I'm not vegan. So if it was nothing else on the world and it was down between me and the animal to survive, how it's going down. Like, the animal's out of here and on my plate. But that's not the world that we live in, and that's not the life I have to live. I'm not forced to live that life. I can choose to live a plant-based diet and thrive on a plant-based diet. So that's how it went down for me. 10 plus years later, I'm still here, still going strong, still eating plant-based, still reading books on plant-based diets, still learning how to heal the body with plant-based foods, and share through my business at Goodpart & Company and through my services with Harcum Holistic. Catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening. I'm out.